to order. This is the, what are we on here? The February 5th meeting of the Board of Selectmen, Town of East Haddam. And we'll start at 7:01 and we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'll make a... please do.
I make a motion to approve the agenda as written and amended
Just written.
of the,
Agenda as amended. Written.
yeah,
Second.
regular.
Have a motion and a second. Do we have any changes, additions
To the agenda or to the?
agenda?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of January 15th, 2020, as written.
I'll second that.
Discussion, please.
None.
Any changes, corrections?
Nope.
No.
I did not see any. Thank you, Sharon. Seeing there are no changes, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I heard everybody say aye, so we're good. Correspondence. We have two pieces of correspondence. The first is from Deborah Dennett, our town clerk. It's regarding the number of electors. This is presented every year this time. In accordance with the Connecticut General Statutes, Section 9-238A, please find the statistics from the active voter registry list obtained from the Connecticut Election Management System. And attached to it are the details. So we have our only one precinct here, and we have 1,998 Democrats, 1,750 Republicans, 2,942 unaffiliated voters, and 123 other, for a total of 6,813 registered voters. We have 3 tabulators in town. Is there any questions on that? I'll entertain any questions at this moment. Thank you. Also in our packet was a letter from Representative Haynes. Dear stakeholder, you are invited to an innovative, engaging, and participatory community call to action about our community's struggle with alcohol and drug use. Our communities are struggling with lifespans of alcohol and drug use, costing us money, time, and energy, and wreaking havoc on our families, churches, schools, towns, and workplaces. Our conversation will direct us to learn about what's working, what's not, what barriers are in place, and what we can do to break through those barriers and to build on what is already being done. You can be part of this hope and change by attending this very important conversation on Thursday, February 27th at 7 p.m. at the East Haddam Senior Center, located at 15 Great Hillwood Road, Moodus, Connecticut, with a snow date of March 2nd. It is imperative that you RSVP to my legislative aide, Samuel Stadnick, at his address by January 25th. We are counting on your special expertise and your value to the conversation. Thank you. Warmest regards, Irene Haynes, State Representative. Unfortunately, this was postmarked the 27th and we received it on the 29th, so we were unable to RSVP by the date in question, but maybe it'd be interesting for the press to be there. So, as an FYI. Thank you. I'll move on to First Selectmen's report. Yours truly and our finance director and all the boards, commissions, committees have been working very hard, as many of our employees have been, putting together our budgets. We had our first long-range capital improvement plan meeting here a week or so ago, and as the first one we've done, it went fairly well. Some people thought it went great, others thought it could go better, but I think we will expedite the process. In fact, we have to for future budget considerations. So, but I think at long range, it's going to be very helpful. It was reported, and accurately reported, that I said the grand list was down. Since then, additional items have been added, and there's been a change, so we actually have a slight increase in the grand list, which is always positive. We are going to be checking some of the details on that, but so I'm more comfortable with the figures, but that is always positive. And that was primarily due to changes in the motor vehicle appraisals and listings. Hemlock Valley is still closed. We are still awaiting the final engineering study so we can assess what direction to take, whether it will be a significant large project or a repair by our own public works staff is in question. Obviously, I'd rather do it sooner and use the staff and save some money. We'll see what the report says. The good thing is that there appears to be, the town appears to own enough land there so that we can actually move the road away from the brook a little bit and save some time, and most importantly, save some costs on stabilizing that hill or the steep slope down to the brook there. So you should have that report. We expected it by now, but unfortunately the lead engineer was on vacation for a couple weeks. Some people have probably seen that there are piles of chips up at the Harris Community Garden. The town is in its initial stages of creating a large composting operation up there to enhance the soil conditions. The first thing was with the adding the chips, and we will be looking to add grass clippings and leaves and things like that in the future, and as well as some clean soils to get everything working well. And probably won't have any compost for this year, but future years, or at least late in the fall, we should have something up there. We've also tested the soil that's been dumped up there in various locations for grading over the very rocky eastern end of the municipal property there. And we have the results back on that. We're going to be evaluating them to see if it's satisfactory or if there's any issues. Regarding tree removal issues in town, as you know, it's an ongoing problem. We have depleted the $150,000 that was part of the budget this fiscal year for removing trees. The town crew right now is going around and picking up a lot of the logs, the small logs and the large logs actually, that were left as a result of those efforts, and we will be clearing the roads of all those things, so start neatening up the process. At the same time, we're also counting the stumps, making sure we have a good accurate count what was removed, so we can do a good quantitative analysis of the value that we had for our operations. And that, in a nutshell, is what's been happening. There were no questions, I believe, at the last meeting that I need to respond to that I did not answer during the meeting. So I'll entertain any questions or comments from the public. Okay then. I won't ask twice. So thank you. Unfinished business. Most of it's still going to remain unfinished, but I will discuss a little bit of it. The East Haddam Village Revitalization Committee will be meeting soon, but the date is fast approaching when the Center Bridge group will be presenting their proposal. And that is right now scheduled for March 19th. It could be earlier. If they decide that they need more time, they can request an extension, and that'll be up to the committee whether they decide to allow it. Transfer Station Committee, final report discussion and solid waste facility ordinance. So we're looking at a number of things there. I'm scheduling a meeting, or have initially scheduled a meeting with some of the people. There are two primary haulers in town, the Bahailos and Janskis, to discuss the future. And it looks like that'll probably be on President's Day, the 17th, hopefully. Right now we have, I think one is available. Let's see if both of them are available. If not, we'll do it any day on a weekend at night, except most of our nights are busy right now, but we will be meeting with them hopefully in the next 2 weeks. I've also given a proposal for traffic rerouting to the transfer station staff to look at, pick it apart, see if there's issues with it. I believe, and Eric, you can help me out, were all of the barriers picked up? Okay. Yeah, I think we may need about 20 more. You guys can't help us out? Oh, okay. All right. Well, Consumer Reports, or Consumers Union, was very generous and loaned us or gave us some stuff that had been loaned to them or whatever to maybe control the traffic up there if we make the changes. So I think this will work. It will require moving the gas tank that's located right where we would want to have cars driving, or vehicles driving. But the good news is the open winter will allow us to continue work because there's no frost in the ground. So we're looking to make some changes. And like I said, I have to just see what their feelings are on it, but I think this will work fairly well. More information to follow. If it does look like it's going to happen, we'll be posting stuff in the paper about the reversal of traffic, which we're resurrecting. So, citation hearing, procedure ordinance discussion, and control of animal ordinance discussion. Those we are scheduling for meetings in
27th?
next month sometime.
You have to be marked, it was gonna be the 27th,
Yeah.
but.
Again, budget issues are pushing that further. We had originally planned for this month, but it's being pushed out again because of all the meetings regarding our budget, the budget process. And also on our agenda is a discussion of the cemetery committee. And Crary, do you have any update on that, or okay?
I believe we sent you a letter.
Okay, that's no changes then.
Okay, we were just waiting to hear back from you.
All right.
And I know the finance committee wanted to have, schedule a time to meet with us, but I think we were waiting to hear back from the selectmen at this point.
Okay. So there'll be more information on that by the next meeting, I'm sure. So, new business. First thing on there is we have one commission change, or addition. Letter from Ms. Marilyn Gleason, Chair of the Conservation Commission. Conservation Commission would like the approval of the Board of Selectmen to have John Olin become an alternate member of the East Haddam Conservation Commission. This position will have to be renewed again for June, but Ms. Gleason, so you'll make sure that happens.
I will.
This is to keep it all in order. Mr. Olin lives down in 61 Hemlock Valley Road, East Haddam. The commission was very pleased to see his qualifications and his background, and look forward to having him on the committee. He's author of environmental books and articles, and has previously been a member of a statewide board similar to this in Maryland. He's a lifelong volunteer and outdoor enthusiast, hiker, backpacker, kayaker, lecturer, and storyteller. So I think they're looking to have him get on the board real quick so we can start writing articles for them. So if someone would like to make a motion to bring him on?
I'll make an motion to appoint John Olin as an alternate member to fill a vacancy with a term to expire June 30th, 2020 on the Conservation Commission.
You have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Okay.
No.
Tax refunds. Denise, have we ever had a month where we didn't give any?
Usually it's maybe June.
Oh, June, okay. It's a rarity, I think, but anyway, so we have one tax refund this month. And it's for $224.31 to Toyota Lease Trust. And a motion?
I'll make an motion to award a tax refund and the amount is presented, $224.31 to Toyota Lease Trust.
Second.
And motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. So I have to stretch it out to 40 more minutes here. We have 3 items because we have a hearing here at 8 and I don't want to have to sit here for half an hour. So. All right, so now, please, someone from the public have a comment. Okay then. Selectmen's discussion. Anything, Teresa?
No.
Arlene?
So on liaison reports?
Yep.
Yeah,
We can move right to
okay,
that.
that's what I was looking.
Okay, we can move right to that because I don't hear a lot of other stuff coming forth, so, okay.
Yeah, liaison.
Thank you.
So there was a zoning board of appeals regular meeting that was held on February 4th. There were 2 appeals that came forward, presented their hardships, and both appeals were approved. And then there was planning and zoning, which was quite an interesting meeting, actually. It was a regular meeting held on February 11th. The largest concern is the proposed amendment change to the floating zone regulations for the planned recreational development and resort areas. There were about 75 members that were from the public that expressed their concerns with that regulation change. That was closed that night, so am I assuming then there'll be a vote that will be at the next meeting, Corey?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
discussion and decision.
And decision, okay. Basically that was the whole gist of that meeting, yeah.
There were a couple other hearing items.
There
Yeah.
were other hearing items, but that was the one that took up an hour, and so.
I met with Tony McCabe and Jeff Rhodes, and we are currently waiting to hear back from DCP on a drug drop-off back. I'm in communication with DCP to hear back from them about the logistics of a drug drop-off box in the town of East Haddam.
Where would that be located here?
There's a variety. The rules and regulations changed, I believe, June of last year to also allow it at independent pharmacies. So it's possible that one of the pharmacy locations could also, if they're a willing partner, be a place where that could happen. So, but we need more details from DCP, just regarding liability and things to have a better understanding.
There was a meeting of the Open Space Committee, and there is a couple pieces of property being looked at, and I consider most of the discussion occurred in private, as they say. Executive session, that's about all I can tell you. But it's I can also tell you that one of the landowners is not interested in moving forward at this time. So. And the Conservation Commission is involved in a number of projects. And since the chairman's here, I don't know if she would like to say something. If not, apparently she said no. The look I just got indicated I was going to die. I have to say that down at Petrel, the Public Works folks have been able to do some mowing down there that hadn't been done for quite some time. Either the equipment had been broken down or whatever, or the weather had not cooperated. It did happen, and it has cooperated this year and this winter. So they were able to get down there last week and cleaned up a lot of the stuff that we've been waiting to get taken care of for a couple of years. Nice job was done. And then also the Public Works through our maintainers, working for Mr. Turner, were able to get down and blow off all the debris that was on the paved portion of the road down there. The anticipation is that the trail, the ADA trail, or the trail that meets ADA requirements, will be completed in the spring as soon as the frost is out of the trap rock screening, so that they can be spread easily and we won't have divots. It'll be a nice smooth surface. And site work will then be completed and additional shrubbery planted. We have a fair number of shrubs. I believe there's 50 shrubs down there that were purchased last year, and shrubs and smaller grassy type plants will be planted at that time. They're also looking at a number of initiatives, including working with the Ag Commission for demonstration plots up at the community garden, and getting boundaries marked on a number of their properties, and also mapping the trails over on the Chagoo property. So, which will add another 2 or 3 miles of trails to our 70-some miles of trails in town. In addition, there's another 2 or 3 miles of trails that the mapping has to be completed down at the Roaring Brook property, which is down there on the corner, goes between Clark Hill and Florida Road and Roaring Brook. So that's about that, I think.
I would just add that we started looking at the plan of conservation and development to see which initiatives we are supposedly the lead on, to see if we can get a handle on what our workload is and what our priorities will be.
Thank you.
So I just have a question. You mentioned open space?
Yep.
An executive session?
Yep.
Are you considering, you confused me by saying you can't talk about it, but you lead it to maybe.
I just indicated that we were talking about a couple pieces of
Pieces
property, but that's about as far as I can go with that. So.
Okay.
Because we are in negotiations with and talking to the owners. So. Okay. Anything else on liaison reports?
No.
Since we have a new arrival who is often willing to present some information, I'll jump back up and say, public comment, Mr. Gelston.
Public comment.
We're all done.
I have no comment this time.
Make a note of that. Okay.
Thanks for thinking of me.
Okay.
I may have it later in the meeting though, but not now.
The
Okay.
meeting? Oh, the
This
later
is it.
meeting?
Oh, this is it? I guess I won't have it tonight.
Okay. Thank you, sir. And I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. I'll make a
All right.
motion.
Okay.
There being no additional business to discuss, a motion was made by Mr. Smith and seconded by
Carlene.
Carlene to adjourn the meeting at 7:25 p.m. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Thank you. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you for coming out on this